Hi everybody, it's Carla from Casey Creates. I hope you all are well. I've been anxious to jump on and do a quick video and show you what I've been up to. It's an actual chilly day. It's 68 and rainy. It's just been a wonderful day to kind of get some crafting done. I've been doing this over the last few days, and so I have some altered, really shabby chic kind of boxes to show you. I've got also my woodland cup of coffee. I love this cup. I bought it at Target a couple years ago. That's cinnamon that you see on top. So if you want to visit with me for a minute, I'll show you the boxes. So I have an Etsy shop. I'll try to remember to leave the link in the description box in case you want to check it out. But there were a couple altered boxes. One was a birdhouse, and then I had two boxes, and the birdhouse and the box sold, and then I got a lady who wanted a custom one made. So I went according to what she said she liked and made this one, where I just went with all the pretty pearls and pink and shimmery flowers and embellished it with laces and trims. And of course there's nothing highly skilled about altering a box. It's just about having fun and using your own design sense and doing whatever you love. And so this is an example of what I love. Now it is a little more pinky pink than I like, but this was made for the customer, I think. If she doesn't choose this one, I made three, and whichever one she chooses, the other two will be in my Etsy shop. So inside I used a little bit of gesso in the corners just to kind of distress it and cover up the paper. So instead of putting any beads or decorative trims on the edges, I just whitewashed it. I kind of like that. And then, like I said, I just used pretty scrapbook paper from a huge supply of vintage floral papers that all of you know I love, so I was happy to start using some of that up. And then there's a pink damask, pretty damask paper on this side. And then I actually covered the whole box first with tea-dyed paper instead of gessoing it, because it was a bright decorative box and I didn't want it to show through the paper, but even though I don't think it would have. This is an applique where I just layered some doily pieces. I put a little pearl dangle and some little dangles from a dangle trim I have. And then this is a rolled paper flower, which I love how it kind of, oh, wrong side, picks up the design in the paper. That's why I chose that paper flower. And then, what is her name? Paper Made Pretty. Doreen, I think is her name. No, not Doreen. Violet. Anyway, just love the way she just, compiles and collages all of her flowers and makes everything so luscious. So this is inspiration from her work. Paper Made Pretty. I can't look at her work enough. It's just so pretty. But anyway, I clustered it all, and I have a little flower, lace flower that I gathered up here. And then under here there's a bunch of doily to give it some height, and then you'll even see some eyelash trim. It's just, I'm hoping that people who look at these will just enjoy looking at it and seeing all the little detail that's tucked in here. I even have a little chiffon rose peeking out there. Some of these little bumpy flatbacks. This is the outer rim of a tiny doily. So that is the first box. Then the second one I did round, and this one was a little bit of a taller box, and I just cut it down some. So it's very similar to this one, only in the round. And then I used a really pretty ruffle trim, and I cut it because I felt like it was kind of too wide and it was covering up the pretty paper. But when I cut it, it frayed. I didn't mind the fraying though. Let me show you. So what I did was I took a thin coat of Mod Podge and went over it to stop it from fraying too much. But you can see the really pretty Parisian themed paper. And maybe I'll show you I've got the paper pad. Remember when I did that haul on the scrapbook papers? Well, I used some of these today for the first time, and they are just so pretty. And I love the weight of this paper. It's not too heavy to wrap around smaller surfaces. Now, I think this is just a larger or a smaller print of what I put on this box, but maybe not, because there's poppies on the floral print of this one. But this whole book is vintage Parisian themed, and the pages come apart in the center like this, so they're double-sided, but they like stretch out larger. This is the print that I put on this box. You can see it on the bottom, but I just think it's so pretty, and the scale of the images is just right for smaller boxes. And then they have some where the scale is a bit bigger. Anyway, I think I've probably showed you this, but that's the paper pad I used. I found it on Amazon, in case you're interested. So back to the round box. I have organza ribbon, and remember I was being a snob about foam roses. Well, I happen to love them now. All you have to do is kind of variegate the color a little by adding gesso or a little bit of an ink or a dye on the ends of the petals. I think what I didn't like was the color was just so one note, and it didn't have any variation in the color, which I think when you add a little variation, it makes them look more lifelike. So I did that with glitter and gesso and stickles, and they really lend themselves well to shabby chic projects. Then I put a pretty iridescent, I call them bumpy beads, so I put a bumpy bead in there. This is a satin flower, but I gessoed it and put a little bit of stickles on it, and that made it firm up some. These are some prima flowers. There's just all kinds of flowers in here. I've satin rolled ribbon roses, and then peeking out is my little butterfly. And you guys see these a lot probably with the silver wire, chrome wire. Well, I just gessoed it and added some stickles so it wouldn't stand out too much and kind of work with all the other gessoed and stickled pieces. I've got little layers of lace that I kind of made look like petals all around. So this is the round one with the ruffled trim, and then I put pearls down the center of the ruffles. These are actually pink iridescent beads. There's the paper on the bottom. And then this one, it's a rather tight fit, so I put pretty paper on the inside, but I had to take the paper around the inner rim out because it was making it too tight. So I'll just go back and gesso the inner wall of the lid so that it won't be so snug with paper. Excuse me. And that's the round box. Let's see if I can. So I just have one more to show you, and I am in love with this one. For some reason I make them, and by the time I make the second or third one, I'm just really enjoying the process. And on a sadder note, today's the anniversary of my mom passing, and this just came together so beautifully, and I know it's because my mom would have loved it. It's all in lavenders and purples, and there's a butterfly. So this is for you, Mommy. And I know she would have just loved this. So I didn't think about it until I started working, and then when I started making it, I realized, I was thinking, I'm making this out of creative energy that was given to me from my mom. So there is a strip of really layered lavender flower applique, and then I put white flower applique, and then tiny little ribbon roses, and it ties with this crinkled seam binding. And something I've been doing to keep it rumpled looking is I spray it with a little water and then a couple drops of glue, Elmer's glue, and it helps keep it a little more stiff, sort of stiffens it a little bit. So I don't know what I'm doing. I'm getting kind of fidgety here, but it opens like this. There's the inside, and the inside was already purple, so I just left it purple. But you can see a better image of the pretty paper. So it's a botanical paper out of that same book. And then I just did the same thing as the other two. Layered the lid with different doily appliques. I dyed this a lavender color. And then I have these pretty mulberry paper flowers where I put gesso on the petals, and I got these in a haul from Little Birdie a while ago. And then this is another one that I dyed and stickled, another one that was white. This is a really pretty metal earring piece that I just stood up, and I've been looking at different things I've had forever, and it's amazing how once in a while you have something for a long time and then you finally use it. And I always wanted to use this in some kind of a fairy type project, but this box sort of reminds me of fairy, so I stuck that there and gessoed it a little bit again. And then this beautiful rolled flower, it came from a dress, and I've had that for a while too. And then I just again put my clusters of ribbon roses, little doily appliques, just a little bit of bridal applique, another bumpy bead, and then I didn't take the ribbon roses all the way around, but I did add these little pearlized flower flatbacks and laid them on top of the lavender appliques. So that is the lavender one in honor of our sweet mother, who we know for a fact is in heaven and not even counting the days. So though we understand the time frame, she's there like it was just yesterday, which brings me great comfort. So I'm going to tie this back up, and that is the purple one. I've been doing a lot of sewing, so my sewing machine's over here. I kind of moved some things out of the way just so I could show you my altered boxes. So I'm actually doing this so that I can do some still pictures in a little bit and put them on my Etsy shop. So bear with me. I forget to do this, and then when it's time to take a picture, it's much easier to do it this way, a still photo, and then this one. Hey, and tell me what you think. Which one do you like the best? And just leave a comment. I love reading your comments. I apologize that I don't always get to comment right back right away, but I do appreciate all of your lovely comments, and just that you stop by. It's just a way of connecting with my crafty friends and those of you who support my channel. So thank you so much for stopping by. Again, I'll leave my Etsy shop in the description box in case you're interested. And I hope you're having a wonderful start to your weekend, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.